22-foot sailboat owner for the last 8 years. I've been here at Dolphin Marina for the past 8 years. And, I use my boat every other weekend. It's really something to look forward to. And if I didn't have it, it would be a significant blow in, my recreational pastime. As a small boat owner, seeing the trends that most marinas are only servicing large boat owners, I couldn't afford it. I'm lucky to afford the boat I have and spend the time I do have on it. But a larger boat just means more money, more insurance, more gas, fossil fuels to use it. So I seriously couldn't afford it, and that's what's great about what I have now. It's affordable. I can use it as often as I can, and if it wasn't here, it would be a blow to not only Marina del Rey, but I think California as a whole, because the marinas that service smaller boat owners are very important. They're taxpayers just like everybody else. Being in a double wide slip for the past 8 years has been fine. Truthfully, when I first started, I was a single in a double wide, and I really liked it. And then another boat moved in next to me, and I was like, oh no, this guy's not going to know what he's doing. He's going to hit my boat, and it's going to be problematic. Actually, it's been fine. It's been not problematic. There's not been, any issues, really. We've been fine together. I think we even look after our boats a little bit more, and I don't see a problem with double berth, double wide berth, whatever. From the little I know, the marina was built back in 1959, for Los Angeles and for the boaters of Los Angeles. And what's strange is, I've been here again, short time, only 8 years, but it's condominium after condominium that's going up on these, in these areas that surround the marina. And I'm kind of feeling that, if there's property, that the owners of the marinas are just going to turn it to a developer, and I don't think that's really fair. I think as a taxpayer, the state has to give us a certain amount of property for our boats and so forth, and just to sell it off to developers is extremely unfair.
The boat over there was just put in, and it's too tight to get it in and out without dropping my engine into the water. And they even left it that way. They didn't even bother to push it back up. Well, I noticed that more and more small slips are being eliminated.
How do you feel?
Well, I think that the marina was designed and voters paid to have the slip for small boat owners, not the big boats.
We've had this boat 4 years. We've been in this slip the whole time.
And have you always had the whole double wide slip to yourself?
No, most of the time there have been other boats next to us. Only recently that this opened up. There was a power boat here until a couple months ago.
Have you had a lot of problems getting out of your slip with another power boat alongside?
No. I mean, my boat is probably wider than most, and it's never been that much of an issue.
Okay. Have you heard of other boaters having issues with the double wide slips here?
No, I mean, most of these slips have had two boats in them for all the time we've been here. Until today, we didn't even know why. It seemed strange that so many of the people who've been around us for years are all of a sudden gone. I think most people get into sailing through smaller boats. It's certainly more accessible. You can, for a relatively modest amount of money, you can buy a small boat, whereas once you get into a 35, 40-foot boat, it's certainly not accessible to most people. I'd like to see the number of small boat slips stay the same or increase. Obviously, if there's fewer slips available, that just means prices are going up for the small boat slips that they do have. I don't see how that helps the marina or the sailing community in general. I can see that maybe there's more money per slip for the marina owners, but nobody else benefits then.
There'll always be a need to have an entry level into the market. There's I'm sure people that own larger boats didn't start with 40-foot boats for the most part. The notion that right now there's nothing but large boats and there's pent-up demand for large boats is probably due as much to a demographic and economic bubble. You know, there's guys that have disposable income who made a lot of money in the 80s and 90s, and you know, frankly, that's a population that will eventually get smaller and less well-heeled. I think it's important that the marina be available to the county residents, represent the diversity of the county, and not be something that's isolated to a particular segment of the county's economy. I'd ask the commissioners to keep in mind the entire diversity of the county, and recognize that it would be short-sighted to configure the marina in such a way as to accommodate only a narrow segment of the boat using and boat owning community in LA County. I hope not to be excluded by these plans. This approach that is insensitive and dismissive of the people, of the users they already have, is is damaging. It distances us from the county and the harbors and beach. And I think that there's probably other ways that are not that can be done more incrementally to improve the quality of the marina without making huge exclusions.
Moved out here about 10 years ago, didn't know how to sail. Went to UCLA Aquatic Center, bought a 25-foot Coronado about 8 years ago. It was one of the best adventures I've done. And since then I've been slowly upgrading. Now I have a 27-foot. I love it. And I love being able to dock here. Please don't take the slips away.